This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. Tea Party activists held a rally in Delaware Tuesday for Christine O'Donnell. She's running against Congressman Mike Castle for the Republican nomination in the primary race for the Senate seat held for a long time by Joe Biden. O'Donnell's a marketing consultant and political commentator, and we're pleased to have her with us now via phone. Welcome to Newsmax, Christine.
Thank you for having me, Ashley.
Fresh off the Joe Miller upset in Alaska's primary against Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski, it looks as though the Tea Party is hoping for similar results in your race. Delaware primary September 14th. Tea Party Express spending another $190,000 in support of your bid. You've been endorsed by Citizens United PAC and talk show host commentator Mark Levin, just to name a few others. How have those endorsements helped, and will they be enough?
They will definitely be enough, and they will be very helpful. Two things we can take away from Alaska, two very good lessons, is number one, this year it's not about who has the establishment behind them. It's not about which candidate has the most money or is an incumbent. It's about which candidate has a message that will resonate with the people. It's about who has the message that people trust will get us back on track economically. And the second message that we can take away from Alaska is that we're not in this to come close, especially the folks here in Delaware. They've been re-energized and re-motivated since the Joe Miller upset, or since his victory in Alaska, because they recognize that we're not in this to come close. And right now the polls have us neck and neck with Mike Castle, the most liberal Republican in the House of Representatives. So that victory has given everyone the last-minute surge, last-minute strength we need to pull through, to pull ahead, and pull towards victory.
Castle was one of the few Republicans who voted yes on cap and trade. How did that go over with Delaware Republicans?
That's right. He's voting with Barack Obama on just about every major bill, and cap and trade seems to be the one that voters are most concerned about, because whether it's a farmer or a small business owner or a senior citizen, everyone is concerned about what cap and trade will do. And Mike Castle continues to support it. One senior citizen that I was meeting with told me that a supporter of cap and trade said, "Oh, but it'll only have a small increase in your utility bills." His response to that was a small increase might not be a big deal for a millionaire like Mike Castle, but for many of us, that so-called small increase could be what determines whether or not we can balance our checkbooks every month. And then for farmers, they're not only concerned about the hike in utility bills, they're concerned about the green compliance standards, what it'll do to their budgets and their farms. Same thing with whether it's a realtor or a small business owner. Nobody wants cap and trade. Nobody other than Mike Castle and the Wall Street bankers who stand to make seven-figure kickbacks from the commodities market that will be created as a result of this bad piece of legislation.
Chicago Climate Exchange, you're talking about.
Exactly, and those bankers, by the way, happen to be the same ones, the bankers and environmental lobbyists who are putting thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars into Mike Castle's campaign war chest, so no wonder he's going to support it in this lame duck session.
Where polls show Castle with a double-digit lead over Democrat Chris Coons. But when you're paired against Coons, Rasmussen has you trailing. Should you win the nomination, what would be your strategy from battling back from this deficit?
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I look at those pollings in context. First of all, there's one poll that has me about 5 points away, and another Rasmussen poll that actually has me 2 points ahead. So looking at these polls in context, you realize that they came out within a few weeks of when Joe Biden was here on the ground in Delaware campaigning for Chris Coons. So the fact that we are 5 points behind or even 2 points ahead when they had the full weight of the Democratic Party behind them is really encouraging. And then you look at Mike Castle, and we are neck and neck with him in the primary. So both Mike Castle and Chris Coons are multimillionaires whose campaign war chests have multi-million-dollar campaign war chests and have the full weight of their parties behind them. The fact that I am a citizen politician with we the people, the grassroots activists behind me, and we are contending with two establishment candidates neck and neck and even ahead in some polls is really exciting and speaks volumes about the mood of the voter. So I'm very encouraged that when we win on September 14th and take out the most liberal Republican in the House of Representatives, that 2-point lead is going to turn into a 10-point lead in the general election, because even the Democrats and independents know that we can't continue to spend our way into recovery, and it's just going to cause economic collapse. And common sense men and women here in Delaware know that the direction we're going in Washington is not sustainable.
You're running on a platform calling for fewer taxes, reducing the national debt, and reining in government spending. How do you see Washington performing in these areas, and do you believe that renewing the Bush tax cuts is a vital thing?
We absolutely must extend, if not make permanent, the tax cuts that are going to expire in January. Right now, we see Washington approaching this economic problem with more spending. That only serves to increase the debt. My Republican opponent is hoping that voters don't look at his voting record, because he's calling himself a fiscal conservative, but he's continually supported Barack Obama's big spending bills. He supported an earmark to pay $19 million for folks to eat clams if they've never had a clam before. It's that ridiculous. There's so much waste going on, and Mike Castle has supported it. We know that we can't continue to spend our way to recovery and then tax our way to prosperity. It's going to collapse our economy. We need to approach the economic trouble we're in with a private sector solution. So I believe that the best thing the government can do right now to help the economy is to get out of the way of the entrepreneur, get out of the way of the small business owner, and let them create jobs based on the private sector, not propped up with government spending, i.e. taxpayer dollars. And one way that I'm proposing to do that is to, like you just said, eliminate, if not permanently, extend, if not permanently eliminate the tax cuts that are about to expire. But another thing that I want to do is permanently eliminate the death tax and propose a temporary 2-year tax holiday on the capital gains tax. What this will do will give business owners and private citizens the money that they need to reinvest into businesses. Businesses grow when they have the capital to reinvest. When businesses grow, they need more labor to help sustain that growth. So they hire people. This is how jobs are created in the private sector. This is how an economy becomes strong and vibrant and self-sustaining. We've got to get back to those principles.
Delaware Republican U.S. Senate candidate Christine O'Donnell, thanks so much and good luck out there in the campaign trail.
Thanks for having me, Ashley.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.